You know, for as long as we've been around, aging has felt like this absolute certainty, right? Like taxes or the sun rising. But what if it isn't? What if aging isn't some inevitable fact of life, but humanity's single greatest enemy, a challenge that we can, and maybe even must, overcome?
It's a really strange paradox when you think about it. We kind of act like we all have a terminal diagnosis, just accepting our own mortality with this fatalism. The source material for this explainer actually has a name for this, the deathist philosophy, and it shapes everything about our lives. But why? Why do we just accept it?
So how do we make that huge shift from just accepting aging to actually fighting it? Well, here's the roadmap for what we're going to break down. First, we're going to look at the crisis that we all tend to ignore. Then we'll dive into this ancient human quest for a longer life. And finally, get into the really cool, cutting-edge science that might just crack the aging code for good. Okay, so the first big hurdle in this whole fight isn't actually biological at all, it's psychological. We have so normalized aging that we don't even register it as a crisis. We just see it as natural, as inevitable, something we shouldn't even bother trying to fight. Let's just try to put this apathy into perspective for a second. 30 million lives. That is the number of people who die every single year from diseases directly caused by aging. Now, imagine if any other crisis, a war, a pandemic, a natural disaster, caused that level of devastation. We would mobilize the entire planet. But for some reason, with aging, we all just kind of shrug and wait for our turn. So why? Why don't we act? The source points to a few really key reasons. First off, the problem just feels huge, right? It's overwhelmingly complex, so we just avoid thinking about it. We also have this tendency to just passively wait for some hero, some scientist in a lab coat to come up with a magic bullet. And maybe most importantly, our most basic human instinct, self-preservation, has been totally dulled by this cultural idea that death is just a logical, maybe even a proper end to life. But here's the thing, this passive acceptance of aging, it's actually a pretty recent development. For literally millennia, the burning desire to live longer, to, cheat death, that has been one of the most powerful forces driving humanity forward.
And this wasn't some fringe idea either. It was totally mainstream. Way back in the 4th century BC, you had Taoists making life extension a primary goal. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and alchemists were obsessed with finding the elixir of life. Then, with the Renaissance, things started to shift. Science began to see the body not as some mystical thing, but as a complex machine. And that thinking paved the way for the first real biological research into extending life in the late 19th century. And this image perfectly illustrates that philosophical shift. You had thinkers like Nikolai Fedorov here, a founder of a movement called Russian Cosmism. For them, longevity wasn't just a personal desire. No, they saw conquering time and death as a grand, collective project for all of humanity, a crucial part of our purpose and our evolution. Okay, so how did we get from these big, grand philosophies to the actual nuts and bolts of the biology of aging? Well, it happened when science stopped treating aging like some mystery of fate and started breaking it down into a series of solvable, mechanical problems. Early pioneers like the biologist Ilya Mechnikov began pointing to specific culprits. He argued that aging wasn't just one single process, but the result of all these disharmonies in the body. For instance, he was one of the very first to realize the huge role our gut microbiome plays in our health, and yes, in aging. And that kind of thinking led to much more specific theories. One of the most famous is the free radical theory. The basic idea is that our everyday metabolic processes create these unstable molecules, free radicals, that basically bounce around inside our cells like tiny molecular wrecking balls, causing damage. And over a lifetime, that damage just builds and builds, especially in our cells' little power plants, the mitochondria. Another huge piece of the puzzle is the telomere theory. So picture the little plastic tips on your shoelaces. That's kind of what telomeres are like, protecting your chromosomes. Every single time a cell divides, those telomeres get a little bit shorter. Eventually, they get so short that the cell just can't divide anymore. It enters the state of old age called senescence, and it can become a zombie cell that just hangs around causing problems for its neighbors. Now this is where it gets really, really interesting. Understanding these mechanisms completely changes the game. See, if aging is just an accumulation of specific types of damage, then we can start to approach the human body like a classic car, something we can maintain, repair, and hopefully keep running indefinitely. This right here is the core idea behind the SENS project, which stands for Strategies for Engineered Negligible Senescence. It's led by the gerontologist Aubrey de Grey, and the philosophy is super pragmatic. We don't have to solve the ultimate why of aging.
We just have to get really, really good at fixing the damage it causes along the way. Be the best mechanics for the human body. So what does this repair plan actually look like? Well, this table breaks it down beautifully. If we're losing cells, we can use stem cell therapy to replace them. If cells turn cancerous and start dividing uncontrollably, we can target their telomeres to shut them down. For all the molecular gunk and junk that builds up inside and outside our cells over time, we can actually engineer new enzymes and therapies to clear it all out. It's a comprehensive, systematic approach to keeping the human machine in working order.
And look, this isn't just science fiction. This isn't just some cool idea on a whiteboard. The tools to actually perform these repairs are emerging right now, from what the source calls the fifth grade revolution in medicine.
I mean, just think about the incredible leaps we've already made. The first revolution was as simple as sanitation and hygiene. Then came antiseptics for surgery, then vaccines, and then antibiotics. Every single one of them completely changed the world. And today, we're smack in the middle of the fifth revolution, molecular biology and genomics, where we can finally read and even rewrite our own biological code.
And this revolution is giving us some absolutely mind-blowing tools. We're talking about routine gene diagnostics from just a spit sample. Gene therapy to fix faulty code before it can cause problems is already happening. Scientists are developing nanorobots that can perform surgery on a microscopic level. We're learning how to grow replacement organs from a patient's own cells. Even something like cryonics is advancing, offering a potential bridge to a future where today's incurable diseases are a thing of the past. This quote from the academician Vladimir Skulichev just nails it. It perfectly captures this massive paradigm shift. Old age isn't a destiny, it's a disease. And more than that, it's the root disease that causes most of the others we fear, like cancer and heart disease. If you treat aging, you treat all its downstream effects at the same time. So where does all of this leave us? You and me. The science is moving faster than ever, which is incredible. But building this longer, healthier future isn't just up to the researchers. It's also up to us, through the choices we make every day, as a society and as individuals.
I mean, the data on this is just crystal clear. Quitting smoking can add 5 years to your life. A little moderate exercise, that's another 3. Eating your fruits and veggies, 5 more years. And on the flip side, obesity can cost you 9 years of your life. Chronic stress can shave off 4. These aren't small numbers. We're talking about years, even decades of life that are won or lost based on our daily habits.
So here's the bottom line. The path forward is a two-front war. As a society, we have to advocate for and fund the scientific research that's going to create these next-generation therapies. But at the same time, on a personal level, we each have a responsibility to live as healthily as we can right now, to make sure we're still around to actually benefit from those future breakthroughs.
And ultimately, it all comes down to this really simple, stark choice. We can keep on with that old deathist philosophy, just passively accepting our fate, or we can see aging for exactly what it is, our one true common enemy, and we can join the fight. The science is getting there. It's ready. The real question is, are we?